Shifting focus to our top story this hour, bird flu scare in Maharashtra. Now, bird flu has made a return to Maharashtra. Over 3,000 birds have died all of a sudden in Velholi village in Thane. The preliminary lab test suggests that it is a case of bird flu. The district administration has declared the area as influenza zone and has ordered to cull all chickens and eggs in the radius of 1 kilometer. As per the officials, most people in the village are dependent on poultry farming, and the sudden death of so many birds has caused panic among residents in the area. Meanwhile, the district collector has assured that there is no need to panic and that they are trying their best to sort the issue.
अभी का तो मोबाइल हमको मिलने वाला है, लेकिन 6 महीने तक उसमें कुछ मुर्गी बिर्गी डालने का नहीं। 6 महीने तक हम लोग क्या करेंगे? कुछ रोजगार है ही नहीं हमारा, तो सब उसके ऊपर है, पोल्ट्री के ऊपर। बच्चे लोग और मैं काम कर रहा है, स्कूल से बच्चे आते हैं, काम करते हैं, मैं भी काम करता हूँ उधर। अभी उधर से डिस्टेंस भी बहुत है, उधर से एक भी आदमी नहीं आ रहा है। जिधर भी ये ऐसा हुआ है, उधर से एक भी आदमी इधर नहीं आता। कम से कम 6 महीने के लिए कुछ हमारा बंदोबस्त होना चाहिए ना। अभी घर पट्टी तो हमको भरना पड़ेगा, मीटर का बिल भरना पड़ेगा, मेंटेनेंस तो है ही, इतना बड़ा शेड है, ऊपर से हमको और तो कुछ काम है ही नहीं।
वेलोली तालुका शाहपुर जिला थाना में 2 दिन पहले अराउंड 300 मुर्गियाँ मृत पाई गई, जिनके सैंपल्स हमने पुणे लेबोरेटरी में भेजे थे। और कल हमें वहाँ से रिपोर्ट आया है कि ये मुर्गियाँ बर्ड फ्लू की वजह से। पूरी खबरदारी की योजना हमने की है। कल हमने नोटिफिकेशन निकाल के वेलोली गांव से 1 किलोमीटर रेडियस में हमने इन्फ्लुएंजा जोन डिक्लेयर किया है, और उस 1 किलोमीटर एरिया में जितने भी कहीं चिकन है या एग्स है या उनका खाद्य है, उसे नष्ट करने की कार्रवाई शुरू हो गई है।
And to get us all the ground updates, I'm joined by my colleague Shweta on the broadcast. Shweta, how critical is the situation, and any advisory or word of caution from the government?
Well, Charlene, to begin with, we have known from the officials that there is no reason to panic when it comes to bird flu, as this area has been declared as avian influenza zone. And this, if we speak about bird flu, this is not the first time, in fact, Charlene, but we are seeing that there are cases of bird flu in the district of Thane, or if we say broadly about Maharashtra. But here they have to curb the, in fact, avian influenza, they have taken measures and steps to also, notify our audience too. There were 300 hens which were found mysteriously dead, and after that, the dead samples of these dead chickens were sent to Pune lab, and after that, they found out that these are they have already contracted to bird flu. Now they have made certain measurements to check on the flu doesn't spread across to any other poultry. At the same time, these people have also been asked to check on whether these kind of cases are again happening in some other poultry farm or not. It is just the case which has arisen from Shahpur of Thane. Now they are also keeping a check whether these kind of incidences are spreading or not, and is it containing only to Thane. Well, these are some of the steps what Thane officials have been looking. But many of the time when we speak about bird flu, Shalin, there are questions arising in people's mind whether it is safe to eat chicken or not, or can we consume meat or even eggs for that matter. But as per officials, or as per the data which we have also acquired, like bird flu is not a new topic for any one of us. It is safe to eat unless it is very much cleaned and it is boiled very properly, as there is no data which suggests that it is harmful. Only bird flu is very, very dangerous for the poultry farms, and the disease which is spread very, very rapidly in animals.
That's right, Shweta. In fact, to discuss this issue in detail, I'm joined by Dr. Harshal Salve, additional professor at the Center for Community Medicine, AIMS, as well as Prasanna Pedgaonkar from Venky's, India. Thank you so much for joining and speaking to Mirror Now. Dr. Harshal Salve, I'd like to come to you first. So what are the causes of this occurrence that we are seeing time and again in Maharashtra and several other states? Should people who are eating chicken and eggs be concerned? What are your advice of do's and don'ts to them?
Yeah, thank you for having me on your show. Just in a pure layman language, we can say this is a seasonal flu amongst the poultry. So it is caused by the also called as avian influenza, mostly predominantly caused by H5N1 strain of the influenza. So this is a seasonal flu among the poultry. Why this happened during this time, and most of the year this happened during this time, because you see this is a season of migratory birds. So because of the mixing of migratory birds, the native population of the poultry gets infected with the newer strain of the avian influenza. And so that you see the occurrence of or the small outbreaks of the avian influenza, what we commonly call as a bird flu. More important thing is to note is there is very rare chance of human transmission. There is a no chance of human to human transmission which is reported in the bird flu. Till now only 3-4 cases in the history has been reported from human to human transmission, and there is a very minimal chance from poultry to the human transmission. Now coming to your second question, there is first thing I just want to say that there is no need to panic. Second thing, there is no risk at all in terms of transmission of this flu from the dead meat in the form of eating chicken or the boiled egg. Obviously, the people which lives in the vicinity or people who work with the poultry need to be sort of vigilant in terms of any symptoms related to the influenza. That is only terms of the poultry related interventions in terms of sanitizing the market, sanitizing the farms, and if required, the culling of the poultry. So that has been taken care of, but it is important to note that there is no need to get panic in terms of eating animal meat or in terms of, because we are currently gone through the severe COVID pandemic. So this comes quite naturally to the people's mind that this is also influenza. So
Right.
this is my message that there is no need to panic.
Right. So an important word of advice there, that there is no reason to panic. Yes, it is an occurrence in Maharashtra time and again, but the situation is being taken care of and there is indeed no reason to be worried about it. In fact, let me also go across to Mr. Pedgaonkar of Venky's India. We're seeing traders already face a loss. So what, according to you, will be the impact of this bird flu scare on poultry business in Maharashtra?
Yeah, it's a very valid and very well question. In fact, our main loss happens and occurs only and only when our consumer starts detaching from eating chicken and eggs. Otherwise, actually, there is no loss as such, because thing is that as long as what the doctor said very appropriately, that there is no need to panic. There is no reason that why we should have a panic and we should stop eating chicken and eggs. So as long as that is being taken care of, I think it gets addressed. And as he said that this avian flu or bird flu is a yearly phenomena. Whenever there is a transition of weather, it occurs. What happens to the human, no livestock is exception to that. So it happens regularly. However, when the panic is created, that time because of the desperation, poultry farmers start selling their product at a very unreasonable price, and that creates an economic loss to the farmer. And that's where I think we need a lot of education to be provided, wherein through media, print media, electronics media, and it should be known to the people that what is right and what is wrong. Fortunately, Indian tradition is such that we do not eat anything raw, in particular meats and egg. So in that matter, whatever the guideline is provided by the so-called health expert, that don't eat raw chicken, don't eat raw eggs. This guideline is for the European people or the people who have a tendency to eat raw. As far as Indian continent is concerned, question doesn't arise of this guideline. And I think we need not have to create any panic as far as this news is concerned. However, as an industry person, I feel that what guideline was there 20 years back, the same guidelines are continuing today. After bird flu, there was a swine flu, which actually has created a panic. After swine flu, there is a corona, which actually has created a pandemic. So these particular viruses has created a lot of havoc, whereas bird flu still remains a hypothesis, which is still a hypothesis that a flu virus of chicken will come in contact with human through some vector, which is still a hypothesis, and I'm sure it will remain a hypothesis and it's not a reality.
That's
so
right.
we did not have to give much importance to this particular disease. It still remains an avian disease today.
That's right. But Mr. Pedgaonkar, do you expect the cost of the rate of chicken to come down in the near future because of the scare and of course the culling of birds?
Fortunately or unfortunately, whatever the incidences of bird flu has happened in past, that has worked as a vaccine to consumer. So every consumer is aware that this bird flu is a phenomena which is coming regularly and we did not have to panic. So as long as that happens, I am sure, fortunately, from last 3-4 days, we have not seen any reduction in the prices. Anyway, because of the feed prices and other parameters, the cost of production of poultry has gone up. And as long as these prices continue, I'm sure we need not carry any kind of fear as far as losses are concerned. But we have to wait and watch. I'm sure if media performs the news properly and creates a very healthy atmosphere and what is right, what is wrong, what are the do's, what are the don'ts, I'm sure the panic will not be created and the prices will not go down.
That's right. It's important to follow all the do's and don'ts. And of course, in India, we by and large cook our chicken, cook our meat, and we don't eat them raw. In fact, let me just take my last question across to Dr. Salve. I'd like to know from you what are the common, facts and myths, just to clear the air for our viewers. What are the do's and don'ts, of course, and also primarily what are the myths that they shouldn't follow that, just very liberally floats around on social media?
Yeah, for any outbreak or any such situation, one thing we need to be clear about, panic is more dangerous than the actual disease itself. So first thing is, and also the media has an important role to play, that to provide the right and the correct information to the community, to the people. So right information is, this is a seasonal influenza in the form of caused by H5N1. We also commonly known as bird flu amongst the poultry and the other avian animals. So it is seasonal and occurs every year. No need to get panicked. The people who work in the poultry need to be vigilant in terms of any symptoms, what we do it in any occupation related hazard for any occupation for that matter. It doesn't transmit directly from the animals or the poultry to the man and to the humans. The chances of transmission of the avian influenza from the chicken meat and the eggs is very, very, very rare. And as pointed out, most of the time, as culturally appropriate, most of the time we use a sort of properly boiled meat or egg is concerned. Second thing, the human-to-human transmission. What we are seeing in the COVID and other influenza, it is absolutely not reported so far in the history itself, as I said before. And also severity among the human, it is out of concern. So panic need not to be created, because due to the panic, what happened, the routine thing get disturbed and the routine health seeking also get disturbed.
Absolutely, Dr. Salve and Mr. Pedgaonkar, thank you so much for speaking to Mirror Now. So there you have it, a big takeaway. There is no reason to panic, and in fact, even as far as the human-to-human transmission is concerned, or even the influenza from the birds to transmitting it to humans is concerned, that is also very low. So again, just follow all the do's and don'ts, and no reason to be worried. Thank you so much for speaking to Mirror Now.